hours pass, and tonight Phoenix Rising plays host to El Paso Locomotive. The 2022 Phoenix Rising season is presented by Equality Health. With Devin Kerr, I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for being with us. Looking at the Western Conference standings, a lot at stake tonight, as the winner of this game could move as high as third. The loser could potentially move out of the top 7 and out of the playoff picture for the time being. These two teams locked on 21 points, but when we look at the series history, it's been all Phoenix Rising.
This is going to be a test of character and mental fortitude, Josh, because for Phoenix Rising, 4 losses in the last 5, 5 and 7 in all competitions. They're trying to find a way right now. Every team that they've lost to in that stretch was also searching within their own form, and they were able to answer it. The Rowdies, New Mexico United, Birmingham Legion, El Paso Locomotive searching as well. But at some point in time for El Paso Locomotive, they've got to step up because it's been draws. They've been the team out in front, and they've had to chase Phoenix Rising, yet to come out as the victor. The numbers over the season have been interesting. They started kindly for Phoenix. They're trending in the opposite direction. El Paso Locomotive, new coach, new players, new system. Finally on the winning run, 4 unbeaten, 3 clean sheets in their last 3 wins. Can they make it 4 on the road and finally get their first victory against Phoenix Rising?
Well, El Paso trying to keep the momentum going. Phoenix, Wild Horse.
At Arizona Federal, our should make you feel good. Show your support for the home team. Just for using your car. Be a part of our commitment to the community.
Buying cars should be something that gets you hyped up.
Newfound happiness and zero surprise.
We'll stop at nothing.
Equality care you deserve. Health. Caring is back.
Carvana, Arizona Federal. Right into it, looking at tonight's starting lineups. We'll start with Phoenix Rising.
We're looking for more out of the outside backs, and Babukar Jai and Darnell King, more consistency, especially with the front line they're going to face from El Paso Locomotive. You move into the midfield, Aiden Quinn drops into the 6th spot, 44 regular season assists, 202 regular season appearance. He'll be accompanied by Sejas and the addition, Irakosi Donaciano. As they start to move forward here, Josh, with Moar, Hurst, and Calistri, watch for Donaciano to be one of those trailing runs to break into the box. Moving out of the midfield to help out the front 3.
And he is our player to watch, brought to you by Pacific. Some key pieces, but this is the 11 for John Hutchinson.
They've gotten some key pieces back. Namely, you get Lucho back into the 9 and Sebastian Velasquez Seba. The first time since we've seen him since April 24th earlier this year, the 1-1 draw versus Oakland. He's healthy. Nick Hines drops onto the back line. Watch the balance there. How much are they willing to gamble in transition to play a high line that we've seen in previous games? We know that Phoenix Rising likes to play in behind. Do they send one? Do they send both? Andrew Fox onto the back line to accompany Yuma in defense.
So that gets us set for first kick here tonight. Phoenix has had El Paso's number, as we've talked about. Will that continue with these two teams going in opposite directions in terms of form? Our referee tonight is Eligio Areguin. It's Phoenix in all black, El Paso in all white. Temperatures in the triple digits as we kick things off. Hot summer temperatures are here. We just wait for the whistle. There it is, and away we go from Wild Horse Pass, Phoenix Rising and El Paso Locomotive, the first of two matchups between these two sides. Very disappointing result against Birmingham. Clinical in the fight. A bad decision in a pretty basic and we showed you last few weeks. 5 losses here tonight. And let's take a look at Rodriguez still out. Herrera and Sanupe are injured. Missing due to international duty for El Paso. Started for Grenada against the United. Ball deflected.
Continue. Ability to perform. It's a lack of depth back in. Others relieved of duties, international academy players, and while it's great that they're getting that experience, make sure that they have enough players regularly rostered, with the young boys having to step in and help.
Last time out for El Paso, that 1-1 draw. Scoring the lone goal on the night. Recently to RSL, selling him on. But good youngsters waiting in the wings, and Abarca, along with Coutinho, have already contributed to a goal. Coutinho with an assist so far in his young career. Velasquez. And an early yellow card given to Greg Hurst. Not even 4 minutes gone, and he's into the book for that challenge.
You just want to see the referee be consistent, and it's real easy for him to make this decision. Look at the hand. This is dangerous. Out away from the body, right towards the head. The referee's got a clear viewpoint of the challenge here put forth by the striker from Phoenix Rising. I don't care if this is in the 4th minute, the 54th, or the 94th. This is going to be a card every single time. You get another look. Watch the arm. I mean, it's just right in to Andrew Fox.
So Hurst has to now watch himself for the better part of, I guess, close to 90 minutes, with it being this early on. Farrell. Switch of play for Jai. Space opens up for Sejas. Here's Moar. Looking much like his old self just last week against Birmingham, not able to find a goal. Promising performance, and another foul, this time by Darnell King.
Though it's not as obtuse as the challenge put forth from Greg Hurst. You can still see the momentum, though. That's the argument here. If Darnell King comes straight up in the air, you have no worries. Instead, the contact on the midfielder.
Slow to get back to his feet is Maris. to put this back in play here for El Paso Locomotive. Last week, Phoenix Rising suffering just their third ever loss in the month of June. This has been the month that's seemingly been the separator when they've started to move up the standings. There would be a couple years ago during the winning streak, even last year as well, where they put together a good run of form. Aside from that loss against San Diego, Musa commits the foul deep in that corner, and it's an attacking set piece now for El Paso Locomotive.
Very much a stop-start game here. The overall tempo for both Phoenix and El Paso Locomotive, the two challenges early on, and then James Musa trying to play out of the back here. Again, easy decision for the referee, reaching out. Set yourself defensively. Cannot concede early on against an El Paso Locomotive team that has been quite impressive. Taking down SAC, the game that was against Orange County.
Richie Ryan deep to that back post, able to keep this in play. Right at Ben Lutz. Down the line. Jai all the way in the corner. It's a throw-in. Go El Paso's way. Ryan playing through the lines, flick through, and the flag is up for offside. There's Musa. He loves to play that ball over the top, though bouncing all the way towards the end line. Moar does well to keep it in play. Right at Newton. Newton, nice kick there on the clearance. King, Donaciano, back for King, Hines steps in, and it's a foul on Darnell King.
It's just a late tackle here, and the follow-through. It's a foul. Darnell King's not going to be happy. I can understand it, but again, you're starting to work your way into the forefront of the referee's thought process. You got to be real careful if you're Darnell King, because the challenge by Greg Hurst was easy to pick up for a yellow. You don't want it to be persistent infringement that sees you follow it.
This ball slipped through, but the flag is up for offside. A couple of times now, El Paso has been right on that line. Quinn swings this around. Jai, looks like he just took his eye off the ball. In years past, you look at some of the statistics, especially in the passing category, and of course you'd see El Paso up there, and even though it's a bit of a different system, a new manager comes in, they still lead the league in passing accuracy and passes, but it's not quite the same system.
No, and it was funny because I asked Mark Lowry about what his difference was in the biggest change from the start of El Paso Locomotive to the end of his tenure prior to his departure at Indy 11. Now, he had already taken the job, but he said that the aesthetics of it, he didn't need it to be this beautiful, brilliant soccer. They just wanted to be efficient in their ways, and that's what you get out of John Hutchinson and this different system. You don't get as much movement, I should say, in terms of the midfield. The diamond is gone. However, you get a more predictable 6 in Richie Ryan. You've still got extremely talented individuals running through the midfield. Dylan Maris, Sebastian Velasquez, and more importantly, moving it onto the front line. They attack the space, they do it efficiently, and it's attacking by numbers within a committee. You know, there's not necessarily one standout on this team this year, but if you look, it's Aaron Gomez, it's Lucho, Zacarias. We've only seen Seba a couple of times, but you know what he can bring to the table. Dylan Maris, they run deep within their ranks to provide the attacking prowess necessary to go get results.
Of course, many of those results have come over the last handful of games after a really tough start to the season, as we showed you in the open. Here's Santi Moar. Finds it infield for Sejas. Aiden Quinn. Looks like he got a haircut. Moar. Donaciano. Farrell. Moar for Jai. Loose pass picked up by Sejas.
If you're Phoenix, you want to try and settle this right now. Maintain a spell of possession. You can get a glimpse at goal, that's great, but just have some confidence in your ways right now. There you go.
Here's Jai. Trying to fire that across, and it's right at Evan Newton.
That's fine, though. It's a good response. It's taken, you know, the better portion of 15 minutes to move your defensive line higher here. Let's see how much they're willing to maintain that presence up top and compact the field. To your point, right around the 10-minute mark, El Paso Locomotive more than happy to stand on it with possession, dance the ball side to side. Is Phoenix Rising willing to chase?
Rick Schott said one of the keys to beating this El Paso team is you can't give them time to pick you apart. You need to make them uncomfortable. See how Phoenix Rising approaches that. There's Moar coming from behind. That's away. Just too far away from him. And a turnover. It's Moar in possession. Moar tries to slide this through. Calistri, the challenge comes in from behind. Referee says all ball. That'll be worth taking another look at. A big shout for penalty here in the 16th minute. Really envisioned by Moar. Look at that when we next get the chance.
time, I thought this was a penalty because the tackle comes from behind. I still think that's a penalty. And here's why. The interpretation of the law says you can't come from a restricted position like that and then exert force on the player, Josh. Old school, I'm loving the ability to make a tackle like that and come from behind and win the ball. And the ball is won, but the attacker doesn't have the ability to see from behind. 9 times out of 10, they're calling that foul in the middle of the field. So why aren't you calling it a penalty on the other side?
It's all about the threshold, I think.
But, and look, you know me, I like to let the game play out. I want tackles like that to be able to be exhibited in that sense. However, in the modern day interpretation of the laws of the game, you don't see that happen, right? The referee doesn't allow a defender to get in behind and let him play through tackles like that. Just be wary, because if you're gonna do that, make sure you're consistent the rest of the match.
It will be interesting to see now how Eligio Arguin approaches that. Comes El Paso again. To get something started, it's Ryan. Flipping this up over the top and all the way through for Ben Lunt. Getting word before the game, there is no Lucho Solignac on the field for El Paso Locomotive. Last minute ineligibility for El Paso's number 9, and stepping into his spot, Noe Coutinho, one of those young academy players, does have an assist so far this season, the 18-year-old from right there in El Paso, so he gets the start. Looks like Gomez has filled into a more central role. How does that affect this El Paso side?
Well, it's not that surprising in the sense that Aaron Gomez is going to come in. The thing that you do lose is some of the physical presence from Lucho Solignac. More importantly, it's the height aspect of it, that target man. Now, Lucho and Aaron Gomez will still both drop down into the pocket, but the ability to stretch on the vertical side of things, you lack. But Noe Coutinho loves the ball at his feet. He's got the confidence as well. He was one of just a few of the group. Calderon, Abarca, Diego Garcia, Brian Salas, that all were signed earlier this season. 6 players brought on academy contracts, actually last fall, excuse me, that have continued on. And I mentioned it earlier that you don't necessarily want to have to go this deep into the well for talent at this point in time in the season. The good news is for John Hutchinson is that anybody that's been given the opportunity has stepped up and knocked it out of the park.
Carvana corner kick, the in-swinger, bouncing through. Somehow that just shot up and over the bar. It's out for a goal kick.
Good ball in by Aiden Quinn. He goes really low for this. I mean, watch this thing drop. How does it get all the way down? Did that not come off the back of El Paso Locomotive for a corner?
Looked like off of Ryan.
Richie Ryan and James Musa doing battle. Looked like Richie Ryan came down and it came off like the head or shoulder area to come up over the top of the bar.
Down the line, Calistri, the back heel for Donaciano. On the turn, looks like all ball. Referee says the same. Coutinho, this time he's fouled.
Studs up the entire way. Watch the little pirouette here. You know what? Josh, for me, real time I looked and I actually thought it was a foul, but upon review, definitely not. Joey Calistri, tactical on the backside, recognizes that there are way too many bodies for El Paso Locomotive in transition. Just takes him down, trying to work through it right now. Phoenix Rising have had a spell over the past couple of minutes of punching back a bit. Some of the decision making in the final third still eluding them, but a better response than the opening 15 minutes we saw.
Quite a physical game so far as well. Another foul. This time we'll go to Phoenix Rising. Fans be sure to get to Arizona Federal Credit Union to get your Phoenix Rising debit card. It's a great way to support the team. Spread the word. You can score $100 when you get one. I've got to say, it's the coolest looking debit card I've seen. Visit ArizonaFederal.org/Phoenix Rising for more information. Coutinho trying to chase after this, he won't get there. Quinn. Last time these two teams played was that Western Conference Final in 2020. Did not play each other last season. But as Rick Schott said, we're not even close to thinking about that game. We're just trying to figure out our form this year. So he said it wasn't really on their minds. So far, the physicality, some of the challenges might say otherwise. Andrew Fox playing through the lines. Maris keeps it moving. Now the cross comes in. Gomez missed it, and the chance is up and over the bar. Coutinho had the chance on the doorstep. Just enough of an offensive intervention.
It's a moment for the captain as well, and Darnell King and his ability to recover here. What a ball slipped through by Dylan Maris. Look at the patience by the attacker. Finally gets the window as this thing comes square back across. How about Darnell King? Weak side recovery over the left shoulder. Able to get back across and get the tiniest of touches to help push it over the bar.
Now the in-swinger towards that near post. Good service in. Paso reset. Right on the edge of the area, trying to go for the curler. One fired into the bleachers.
Notice the shape, if you do, Josh. Not as much in the build right now, but defensively, the way that Rising is trying to set up to counteract what El Paso Locomotive are throwing at them. They're very flat on the inside. It's not a bad thing. It's just a different look. Normally you see one, maybe even two drop off. Instead, you're seeing Sejas, Aiden Quinn, and Donaciano trying to spread it wide and create more options within the midfield, especially on this right flank with Joey Calistri, who's a bit more restricted to the interior. They haven't been able to take advantage, Locomotive, as much through Noah Coutinho and Nick Hines. The space is there, though. This is a good look at it. This is what I'm talking about.
Jai steps in. Those long strides carrying him forward. Abubakar Jai goes for goal and fires it into the south end. He wanted the glory moment.
Yeah, you wonder where Seba is trying to play this ball here. It's a dangerous one because he's matched up 2v1. Aiden Quinn's come over. Abubakar Jai has read it perfectly. Even if you split it, you've still got a one-on-one as James Musa had come up. High risk there from Velasquez trying to break down the midfield.
check and need a check. Go on the offensive with Lerner and Rowe, the official personal injury firm of your Phoenix Rising. Make one call, that's all, to 977-1900. Getting you all the money you deserve is our goal. The tense first 27 minutes. Been a ton in terms of A+ chances, maybe the one for El Paso just a few moments ago, a block by Darnell King. Not short on physicality. Here's Hines with space. It forward for Gomez, tough angle, and he wasn't too far away.
I just mentioned to you they had to try and find a way to isolate some of this space on the left-hand side. Funny how it actually comes to the interior from the outside back. As you drift back into the inside, the worry starts to come from where the exact presence of offensive threat is going to come from. Get close there, El Paso Locomotive, and they get real lucky here too, because that was a good step by Dylan Maris coming out of the midfield.
Nearly perfect distribution there for Ben Luke. The header just a bit too wide for Darnell King. Calistri. Now it's Farrell. Switch the point of attack. Some acrobatics there, some flexibility from Babukar Jai. Donaciano. Just off the mark. Step up. You can see those moments that Phoenix Rising trying to intercept some of those passes, step into passing lanes, put some pressure on this El Paso side. So Rick Schatz did talk about this week when trying to dissect El Paso Locomotive.
I would also add, Josh, that it's not just the fact that they're stepping in, it's that the marks around them are marked up quite nicely. You know, in the past couple of games, one guy goes, if he doesn't get there, then the space opens up, and they've usually broken down in transition. If you watch the way that they're attacking this thing on the defensive front, if Darnell King comes up, you've still got Donaciano or Sejas or Joey Calistri that also have the marks around them.
Things in that midfield for El Paso. Working in from the right. Maris cuts back onto his right. Maris off the post! Rebound still there, and Jai able to get it free, and he's fouled. Maris doesn't need a lot of space, and he wasn't far away.
Got to be one of the more underrated attacking players in this league, and the two linking up together. Velasquez finds Dylan Maris. Look at the patience, though. That calming disposition that he possesses just outside the top of the 18. A little pump fake back across the body. He understands that as he pulls this, the natural momentum from Phoenix Rising is going to be drifting into his path. He uses it to his advantage. It's been a nice little back and forth between these two within this first half. It's got to be the most clear-cut opportunity so far.
It seems like a measuring stick game for both of these teams. They both have their ups and downs, and they both come in on 21 points, but I'm sure if you look at a form graph, it's two arrows going the opposite direction. This is the intersection. Where will these teams go from here? It's Jai.
Good ball.
Slide this in behind. Coutinho latches on. Coutinho running it. King goes for the quick shot. Forces a save out of Lunt. Threat not gone. Velasquez. This over the bar. Maybe just 18, but boy, that was a quick release.
That's really impressive. Both the vision to start this off. How about the ball by Sebo? Dissects the midfield. Good recovery by Darnell King, and then it's just into a one-on-one situation. Who wants it more? If you're Darnell King and I'm with him, I'm expecting him to try and cut this back across my body as well. Notice the hips, how Darnell King opens it up. He's trying to push him to the byline. Good recognition by the youngster in Coutinho to just let this thing fly.
Moar battling forward. King, long run upfield, cuts it back. Moar into the middle, it's over the bar. Evan Newton with a big-time save. For a second straight week, Calistri denied.
Seems like every single time one team is trying to poke its head out, the other one jabs back. And that's exactly what happens for Phoenix. Look at the ball movement. Moar, vintage, King into the channel, the cut back across. Joey Calistri asserts himself in the 9. And then your saves and shutouts leader all time in championship history, Evan Newton, steps up once again.
Quinn towards the near post. Not clear. Bicycle kick attempt, bouncing into the arms of Newton. Get your group out for the Rising experience, whether it's family or friend celebrations, client entertainment, or employee outings. We can make it memorable for the whole bunch. A couple of weeks on the road for Phoenix Rising upcoming against Loudoun United, Las Vegas Lights. They're back home for Orange County on July 2nd, and then 2 more road games at Memphis and Lou City. So some big-time tests coming up, and maybe that even raises the importance of this game here tonight. 4 of the next 5 away from home, and 3 of those against Eastern Conference opposition. Moar puts on the brakes. Moar coming in field. It's cleared away. On the turn, just a little forearm. What's this going to be? I think this is just outside the area, says the referee. It's a free kick and a yellow card given to Ricardo Zacharias.
It's tentative in the movement coming out in general. He gets caught up here and just split decision. Doesn't know which way to go. Untimely turnover. Great job by Joey Calistri. Just spins away, and there is contact, and it is just outside the box. I mean, this is by the chinny chin chin. Really close to pointing to the spot. He knows it's a mistake twice. And it's one of the more difficult spots here, Josh, as well. The makeshift corner. Hard to get the ball up and down with enough momentum to have it redirected. Can you work anything off of each other to create some space inside the box, or possibly a late run all the way to the back post to open up something?
Farrell has come forward. He's always dangerous on these. Aiden Quinn standing over it. Quinn clips it up towards that penalty spot. Moar, one touch. Just fires it wide. Wasn't too far away.
He seems pretty happy over the last couple of minutes. Santi Moar. Still waiting for him to break out of his shell here in 2022. It's not that far off. And this is about 3 feet. He knows. Ball coming up off the deck. So difficult to time. This right here is the question mark. Donaciano. Calistri fancies himself. Greg Hurst not too shabby. We've seen Santi Moar, Quinn, say that Sejas and Donaciano, it's time for them to step up and get involved more here to have success. Rick Shuntz talked extensively to us, Josh, about having that second wave of attack coming out of the midfield. They've been lacking that for quite some time. Can either one of them provide that glimpse?
Moar trying to run downhill, slides this through, and Calistri was offside. We mentioned what is to come for Phoenix Rising. Well, next week for El Paso, it is a USL on ESPN matinee. Two surging sides meet in the Motor City as El Paso will head to Detroit City June 18th, noon Eastern on ESPN. You ready?
I am. Key should be rocking. I'm sure they'll be hungry after the loss tonight to Sacramento Republic. How about Sacramento Republic, by the way? Back-to-back weeks. San Antonio FC, upper echelon in the West, and now Detroit City. Good win in the Eastern Conference, drops them down to 4th after the Rowdies got a nice result on the road against Miami FC.
It's a busy West Coast slate tonight. A lot of games going on. This is fired out of play. Did it take a deflection? Looks like it did. Maris to stand over this corner kick for El Paso. The in-swinger lifted in. This will bounce all the way out of play. Quality Health reminds you that next time you or a loved one needs preventive or routine care, go to your doctor first. If you don't have a doctor, go to equalityhealth.com to find one near you. Nearing halftime here from Wild Horse Pass. No goals, but plenty of good chances for both sides. Up for Sejas. All the way to the end line. Moar keeps it in play. Now serves it in. Quinn is waiting. Now King attacks it. Quite stretches his leg out to get full power behind that shot. Mentioned the dimension of this Phoenix Rising midfield earlier, but it seems like Rick Shuntz trying to piece together what is their best midfield at the moment. Of course, Kevin Lambert on international duty. He started a couple games for Jamaica in Nations League. But what do you think is that right formula of the midfield three?
In terms of personnel?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Everybody, Donaciano we can't pass judgment on because he's only been here for a game and 20 minutes. Everybody's had moments, right? The most consistent one has been Aiden Quinn, but of course you haven't had him the entire time because of injury. Lambert up and down, then you're moving him onto the back line. Sejas, incredible earlier on. He's quieted down in the sense that he hasn't provided you as much of an offensive explosion, though he was never meant to give you 8-10 goals on the season, right? So if I had to pick, and I was sitting in Rick Shantz's position, I'm leaning on Lambert, Quinn, and Sejas still. That's my look. Those are the guys with the most experience, probably right now the highest ceiling. But he also has to find a way to start to spark this team a little bit. You and I talked about this coming in, that pretty much anything that could go wrong for this team this year has. And I mean that in the sense of overall form. You know, Babacar Jai and Darnell King have struggled. Injury, James Musa, Aiden Quinn, Santi Moar, Greg Hurst. There's been a fluctuation within the formation, trying to play catch up there at the international duty. You know, Ben Loon has had games that have been questionable. And you put all of that together, that's enough. And then can't score goals from your 9. Santi Moar has been off, so you could literally walk in and just say, okay, we're going to put a hex on him, and that's happened. And yet still, this team is a talking point in the Western Conference. I would make the argument that, I think I said this last week, the bullseye's a bit smaller. The acknowledgement that the fact that they're not the team that everybody is chasing, to me, is not the worst thing. There's less pressure on them and the ability to just go out and play, right? They don't have to be the aggressor and score 40 goals a game and, you know, make friends with everybody like Aiden Quinn is right now.
Maybe you mean some of that pressure from around the league, not so much within or around the team, as Fox will get a yellow card for some extra shenanigans.
There's a reason that teams come in here and every single week they give you their best. It's, you know, a center back stepping up, getting stuck in with a youngster in Donaciano, a second-year pro. It's the record-breaking streak of 2019 wins and goals and all that. They own almost every major statistical record in a single season, especially on the offensive front. Teams want a piece of that. Finalists in 18, finalists in 20. Right? Teams want to walk in and say, we're one of the teams that took down Phoenix Rising in general, yet alone at home. That comes with a lot of pressure. When that doesn't happen as regularly, meaning Phoenix isn't the team that's regularly putting out the wins and the quality results, there's a little bit less of a shine on that. And teams, they back off a little bit. I'm not saying they back off, Josh. It's just a little different. Watch this tackle behind the scenes at Sejas. Late on Yuma, Richie Ryan recognizes it. Things heating up in the desert.
Ryan and Sejas exchanging pleasantries. There's a yellow card in the hand of Eligio Areguin, and it looks like Sejas will go into the book.
It's just a reach out on the backside. That's a good tackle by Yuma. And Sejas, he knows what he's doing. He sees the opportunity to reach out here. He is going for ball. Richie Ryan just doesn't like the tackle on him, sticking up for his teammate. Fair enough. And to be clear, that opinion that I just shared with you, candidly, I've had that conversation with a couple of coaches around the league, and they've talked about the exact same thing. Although frustrating in nature, everything that Phoenix has had to deal with, they actually think it is a bit of a silver lining for them that they don't have to be the team that everybody's chasing. It's actually, they think it could be a team that could be feared come the end of the year, given the fact that they can get themselves back on track and provide themselves the luxury of quality form and even the possibility of a home field game come playoff time.
It's 2 minutes of stoppage time. We can tell you pregame with Raising Cane's, proud supporter of Phoenix Rising. Skip the line and order on our easy mobile app for your order of premium fresh hand-breaded chicken fingers, special sauce, and don't forget to add our fresh hand-squeezed lemonade. Here comes Rising into the attack. Donaciano, touch towards the end line, squares this back. It just wouldn't happen for Phoenix and Greg Hurst. Here's Moar for Quinn. All the way through for Newton.
That's a sweet little turn by Donaciano. Watch out quickly. He takes the touch. Yeah, sweet touch. That's the run that Rick Shantz has been talking about, that they've been lacking. Great job by the youngster, just move into the end line, quick acceleration, gets out in front of Yuma. They need more of that.
One more chance here for El Paso. That will end that threat. Pretty balanced first half. Both teams trading some pretty good chances. A few yellow cards sprinkled in. Some physical challenges. 45 minutes has come and gone, and nothing to split these two sides. First matchup between Phoenix and El Paso since that 2020 Western Conference final. Still looking for a breakthrough goal for either side. Both managers with some thinking to do to try to find the full 3 points tonight. Phoenix has yet to draw a match this season. El Paso unbeaten over their last 4. We will see what the second half brings. No score at halftime between Phoenix Rising and El Paso Locomotive. Stay with us at halftime.
Lerner & Rowe is proud to be the official personal injury attorneys of Phoenix Rising. Our goal is getting you all the money you deserve. When you're in a wreck and need a check, make one call, that's all, to Lerner & Rowe.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
You might have heard of Carvana and that we sell cars online. What you probably didn't know is that we're in the business of making you happy. We believe buying a car should be something that gets you hyped up, that you should be empowered to shop when you want, where you want, wearing whatever you want.
And that your new car ought to come with newfound happiness and zero surprises. So we promise that we'll treat you right, we'll put you in control,
And all of us will stop at nothing to drive you happy.
We'll drive you happy at Carvana.
Hello, I am Jose Luis Cruz Rivera, president of Northern Arizona University. We are a proud sponsor of Phoenix Rising. NAU and Phoenix Rising have much in common. We're both building on a strong foundation of success. We are both champions in our own fields, and we both strive for excellence. At NAU, we offer the advantages that come with a higher education to all of the members of our community. We are helping our students build a bright and boundless future for themselves, their families, and their communities. Come visit us at NAU and go Rising.
Now, once again, let's turn our attention to the field and welcome Rico. Check. What's going on?
Halftime from Wild Horse Pass, Fan Appreciation Night, as Phoenix Rising plays host to El Paso Locomotive. On this week's edition of Rising Recap, Rick Schatz looks back on the past week for Phoenix Rising.
Well, we won every duel, all the duels. We won the possession battle. We had more shots on target. The only thing we lost was the only thing that matters, really. So from a performance standpoint, the goal we gave up was Aiden closed down out wide, let his guy cut inside on him, and at that point, the back four was a bit overzealous, and we talked about it. We showed him on film. Tactically, I thought the approach was good. The plan was right. The players, for the most part, did well. We're still making very basic technical mistakes, but I think a lot of this comes down to, for anybody that's watching our game, is we're settling for very, very difficult chances. The one, we had an overlapping run with a cutback that I think Calistri got onto, was a brilliant chance, and 2 or 3 feet to the left or the right, that's in the back of the net. And for them, they hit a shot that, 6 inches to the right or left, it's saved or it's wide. So it seems to be the way things are going right now. Again, it's the most important thing is for us all to realize we have to keep moving forward. When you're in difficult moments, the more difficult you make it, the more changes you make, the worse it gets. And you have to get back to what you do and keep it simple, you know, and keep working on the basics. And so this week we'll do a lot of shooting and a lot of finishing.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
I'm on that routine. I'm on that routine.
In the making, a dream start for City.
Maxi Rodriguez, what a stop by Steinwasser. And it's into the back of the net. El Paso
for a corner and a 10. What a goal. Are you watching Football Americas?
Equality Health is giving doctors more time to be doctors, so they can give you the care you deserve. Ask if your doctor is part of the...
Halftime from Wild Horse Pass. No score between Phoenix Rising and El Paso Locomotive. News and notes from around the USL Championship. It is Pride Month. For more information on USL's Forever Proud, you can go to uslsoccer.com/foreverproud. How about Memphis 901, Jeremy Kelly and Ben Pierman?
Cooled off a little bit in their last game, unfortunately for them.
Sure.
Just rattled, was it 5 wins in a row, and Birmingham Legion walked in, great result. But Jeremy Kelly, 3 goals and 4 assists in the month. He's got 6 in totality on the season. That's best in the USL Championship, and El Paso Locomotive hopes that they will be walking into the Key Saturday at noon Eastern time with a victory. And Detroit City coming off of one of the scores earlier tonight, a 2-0 loss. Mark Briggs, as we mentioned earlier, has now taken down San Antonio and Detroit City. Pretty impressive resume.
This scoreboard brought to you by Best Western. How about that San Diego Loyal match? 2-0 to Loyal, and Harry Watling given a red card in that match.
Well, not only, we then received word that he went up into the stands and had an earpiece in.
We don't know where the earpiece was.
We don't know if he was watching the game, if he was listening to Fleetwood Mac. Who knows? Good result, by the way, for the Tampa Bay Rowdies on the road. And what went on at Patriots Point tonight for the Charleston Battery.
Huge.
Heck of a result and much needed, taking down Pittsburgh 3-0.
Maybe that could turn their season around. Both these teams looking for a full 3 points tonight. The second half is coming up.
This is Sanderson Ford Country.
All roads lead to Sanderson Ford for sales, service, and satisfaction. Check out America's best lineup, like the all-new award-winning electric Mustang Mach-E. Blaze new trails and a new Bronco, and drive America's best-selling trucks for 45 years. No hassle, no pressure, no nonsense, and no added markups. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford for sales, service, and satisfaction.
Pacific Office Automation is the one source for all of your business technology. Copiers and printers. Managed IT and cloud services. Unified communications and telephones. Security systems and cameras. Complete conference room packages. You need to partner with a total office solutions provider that gets it. Pacific Office Automation. Problem solved.
Hello, I am Jose Luis Cruz Rivera, President of Northern Arizona University. We are a proud sponsor of Phoenix Rising. NAU and Phoenix Rising have much in common. We're both building on a strong foundation of success. We are both champions in our own fields, and we both strive for excellence. At NAU, we offer the advantages that come with a higher education to all of the members of our community. We are helping our students build a bright and boundless future for themselves, their families, and their communities. Come visit us at NAU and go Rising.
Equality Health is giving doctors more time to be doctors, so they can give you the care you deserve. Ask if your doctor is part of the Equality Health Network today. Equality Health. Caring is back.
Tonight's match is brought to you by Carvana, NAU, Equality Health, and Arizona Federal. First half highlights: Phoenix Rising, El Paso Locomotive. No goals to show you, but plenty of good chances. And we just talked about it. Dylan Maris has been great in this game.
Solid back and forth, 25 for 25 in his passes. That's final third all over the field, you name it. And I love the connection that he's got with Sebastian Velasquez. Haven't seen that since April 24th, and it was apparent right away they haven't missed a single beat. Good buildup. Noe Coutinho, the addition in the absence of Lucho Solinak. They're trying to find that opening goal to the back post, and they just continued to apply the pressure. But it felt like every single time they did, Phoenix would come back. You have to make the argument, though, Josh, that the opening 30 minutes was definitely better for Locomotive.
And this time, Dylan Maris getting it on that favorite right foot. He hits the woodwork, and more warning signs for Phoenix Rising.
Lucky that this didn't end up in. And defensively, it's been rough for Donaciano. You can see that the spacing issues haven't been there. You don't exactly know what the communication sounds like on the pitch, so that could be a problem. The good news is Santi Moar over the last two games has been nothing short of brilliant outside of tickling the nylon. This is beautifully worked from the left side all the way back across. It makes its way into the 7. It finds Joey Calistri, who finds Evan Newton, who once again makes a fantastic save to keep this knotted up at 0.
And pretty even in terms of shots and shots on target. The possession, it's really no surprise.
No, and I would say this overall. My favorite thing about games like this, yes, it can be frustrating as a fan because it's 0-0, but there's no secrets right now. You know exactly what each team is trying to do. Their identity is set. This is about execution, not what the tactics are going to be in the next 45 minutes, at least right now, not what personnel are on the field. You know exactly what you're getting. Who can step up and be the more efficient team with 45 minutes left?
So just about set to start the second 45 minutes with Devin Kerr. I'm Josh Eastern.
Substitution for El Paso Locomotive FC. Entering the match is number 14, Ander Egeluz.
So Ander Egeluz is coming onto the field for El Paso. Sebastian Velasquez will be coming out. It's probably just because he's coming off injury, trying to get back to full fitness. So the one sub at halftime from John Hutchinson. There's the whistle, and away we go. 45 more minutes from Wild Horse Pass. A busy night in the USL Championship, one of 5 West Coast games going on at this hour. Can Phoenix find some sort of go-ahead goal here and get out in front, or will it be El Paso to score that goal? Paso not scoring a first half goal. That's something that they're not used to. They've done it 9 times. It's the 3rd most in the USL Championship. They're trying to get an early second half goal. The dummy as this runs through, and Darnell King sweeps it away. And the outlet ball for Sejas. Early ball lofted forward, and Newton is there. Somebody's name we didn't call a ton in that first half, Greg Hurst. He did get that yellow card very early on. He has 4 touches in this game. Definitely need to get him more involved if you're Rick Schatz in Phoenix Rising.
That's a true testament to Richie Ryan and the 2 center backs in the first half. Andrew Fox and Yuma completely decimating the space around the striker and the ability to step in or out of it.
Here's Ryan. Boehner. Yuma. Challenged by Musa, he got it just right. And Santi Moar. Space to work for Coutinho down the left. Give it to Phoenix Rising. Some scores from around the league. That was a back and forth. A couple of own goals in that game as well between Monterey Bay and San Antonio. Of course, Detroit City getting shut out at home against Sacramento Republic. They still have their eyes on a big U.S. Open Cup match in a few weeks.
They've got their fixture congestion was really questionable coming in, because it wasn't just tonight on the road, mind you. Detroit City's difficult in general, but when you go to the key, it's even that much more. And yet they've taken down San Antonio, they've taken down Detroit. Now they have Los Dos, and then they go a stretch of 3 games in 3 where they'll go to LA Galaxy, and that's Open Cup, to Monterey Bay, and then to Colorado Springs. We haven't seen a team in the USL Championship, really since probably the early teens in the Charleston Batteries come to mind, that have been able to successfully navigate both domestic and Open Cup schedule. Good step by Darnell King.
The cross comes in, the header is down and wide. A point-blank header. Joey Calistri off the mark.
What does everybody have to do? You know, whether it's El Paso Locomotive or Phoenix Rising, it just seems like there's a hex that's put on both of these teams and their inability to hit the frame. When they have, both goalkeepers have stepped up. Little hesitation by Evan Newton, but I give him credit because he does recover and immediately clouds the vision of Joey Calistri. Still should have done better.
Moar crosses this in. The header is out of play. It's a corner kick for Phoenix. Carvana corner kick. Crown sponsor Phoenix Rising. Carvana will drive you happy. 5 minutes gone in this second half. Aiden Quinn. It's too tall for James Musa. Here's King. Cross. In and out of play. And the flag was up for offside. Celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at SelectSportAmerica.com. Select, League's choice, player's choice. Here's Jai. Well, we were talking about this pregame. Phoenix Rising is unbeaten against only one team currently in the Western Conference, that being El Paso Locomotive. And as things stand, still would be unbeaten, trying to avoid defeat for a second straight week at home. And that's something Rick Schantz did bring up on the calls, that this field used to be a fortress, but they have lost some games here kind of uncharacteristically, especially last week. As Hines gets forward. Cross fired in. Jai got his head to it. Now it's fired back centrally. Just evades that right foot. It's cleared away. More time on the ball for El Paso Locomotive. Maris slides it ahead. Coutinho is offside. Jai. Turned over. Musa steps in though very calmly. Donaciano trying to play it through the middle, and that's cut off.
It's less of an attacking threat right now within the midfield for El Paso Locomotive. They've still got some looks, but the emphasis has been put on Dylan Maris in the absence of Sebastian Velasquez. It was that pivot with Richie Ryan underneath, but with Aguiluz coming in, Josh, it's more of a two-headed monster defensively and trying to rely on Dylan for everything.
Sejas blocked down.
Just less numbers going forward now. It's more predictable in nature, and it's not the worst thing because, as I mentioned, coming out of halftime, there's no real secrets. In theory, it would make it easier for the back line and guys like Aiden Quinn to track the runners. It has also changed the shape for Phoenix Rising. Just match up, two pop a little higher. Sejas, Donaciano. I mentioned in the first half, right around the 30-minute mark, how they had gone quite flat in their shape. At least the tendency throughout the opening 45 minutes in general. Now you're seeing more traditionally that little jump up in the 2/8s above Aiden Quinn.
Room for Hines to run into. Cross comes in towards the penalty spot. Nobody there in a white shirt. Being over pursued. Boehner. There's Fox. Trying to get something started here.
Step by James Musa. It's been much better defensively. I understand that they've leaked some chances, but so have El Paso Locomotive. It's going to happen throughout games, but overall the tidiness has been much better for Phoenix Rising, especially in one-on-one situations. Most of it has been the negative defending, tracking back against the grain, free-flowing motions where you have to account for so much more. But in the one-on-one situations and the possessional build for El Paso Locomotive, Phoenix have definitely been better than we've seen in previous matches.
Centron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand and proud to be the exclusive energy drink partner of Phoenix Rising. If you're ready to energize, visit CentronWorld.com. Join the vibe on social at Centron World. Ryan. There's this forward, back for Lunt. Gets it away. Top again. Let's roll through. Injured player for Phoenix Rising's James Musa. position, nor the player that you want down.
Think about what they've dealt with back there this year. Remove the form aspect of it. James Musa obviously out for an extended period of time. Joey Farrell, some of the challenges, has had to step aside for some disciplinary issues. I'd say that he's actually performed quite well for Phoenix Rising. Mentioned Lambert coming into it. Sievert Haugli has tried to solidify the back line. I said to you coming in, though, pass judgment all you want onto what exactly the final product looks like for this team. They need that man right there. You need James Musa, if you're Rick Schantz, to remain healthy and stay within this squad. He's too much of a leader. He's got that veteran aspect of him where guys look to him on the field, off the field, a consummate professional. And you can't afford to lose another player, and especially not a James Musa.
Player who played almost every minute last season until the last weeks of the season where he was rested for the playoffs. This year has just battled to stay healthy. Play there at the back, but Newton collects. Past the hour mark. Still looking for that opening goal. And this will be a foul, and a yellow card will go to Joey Farrell.
A caution has been issued by the referee. The Phoenix Rising FC, number 15, Joey Farrell.
And the argument here from the referee is Joey Farrell just overextending the left arm as he reaches back through the player. Watch the check down in. Watch the left side right there. Maron Gomez trying to come into the pocket. Not necessarily sure I really agree with the referee on this one, that it's a yellow card.
Newton. It's picked off. Donaciano will get there. Push in the back. He goes down. It's a free kick.
Another one of the boys tonight who have picked up a yellow card, Andrew Fox. A little rough and tumble against Donaciano. Almost retaliates there. He's congratulated by Yuma for the challenge. Weird tempo in the second half, Josh. Very different. Yeah, it's very different. I would compare it to the opening 10 minutes of the first half, but things settled down there and you started to get quality from both teams. They locked it in defensively, yet still created some opportunities. Haven't really seen that from either here in the second.
Goal could really change things. Aiden Quinn stands over this. The service in, punched away. Sejas. Sending this out of play. Phoenix Rising preparing 2 substitutions. Be Marcus Epps and Manuel Madrid coming on. Joey Calistri and James Musa will be replaced. An hour for both players, and you hope, and this is not due to injury for James Musa, just a precautionary move, but he did go down a few moments ago.
The odds that he's coming out because he's feeling well are obviously not good. He's got a shot to Manu Madrid to stand fast back there next to Joey Farrell. That's a quality shift put together by both Musa and Joey Calistri, who had a ton to do marking in their own half. A lot of chasing. Noe Coutinho, Nick Hines. Good balance for Locomotive. And as we've mentioned a couple of times tonight, it's been much better defensively for Phoenix Rising.
Something started. Zacharias. Let this trickle out of play for an El Paso corner kick. Ryan to swing this in. Plenty of depth on this. And another free kick upcoming. And Darnell King will go into the book.
Things ramping up once again for the referee and some of the challenges being thrown around. We made the argument in the first half, Josh, that Darnell King had worked his way into the referee's thoughts, and although it had calmed, that's probably the fourth infraction, if math serves me right. Normally it doesn't, but I have kept the tab on the evening.
Maris. Immediately headed clear. Ryan for Maris. Positive first touch. All the way to the back post where there's Babukar Jai. Jai's pass off the mark. Aguiluz. Jai gets back defensively. Zacharias. Jai gets it out. Moar. Sejas. Marcus Epps, let's see what he can do. Not just moments ago. Madrid stepping forward and committing a foul. Yuma. At the midway point of this second half. The only game going without a goal. A little bit of contact. Penalty! And Manuel Madrid has seen a red card. A massive decision in this game. El Paso will go to the spot and Phoenix will be down a man.
It looked to be contact, and it certainly looked to be a penalty as you run it back through. Great job here by Coutinho to pinch it in. As he comes back through. Look, if you want to give, if you want to give a penalty here, fine. He's still trying to make a play in theory on the ball because he's moving through the player towards the ball. I have a hard time believing that this is a straight red here, Josh. There have been some decisions, I'm putting that lightly, over the course of the night that you've really had to question, and this is one of them. He's just come on. There's the one foul in the middle of the field. 9 times out of 10, when a ball's played into a striker and he peels off over the shoulder, there's gonna be contact with the center back, and they're both chasing the same ball. The ball's moving away from goal. This is where the subjectivity of decision-making comes into play by our referee. And I personally have a very hard time believing that this is a clear and obvious denial of a goal-scoring opportunity where no play on the ball is made and that you have to issue a straight red. This looked to be a foul, a penalty, and a yellow at worst.
Two penalty kick goals so far this season. Aaron Gomez will step up. He scored one of them, Lucho the other. And Ben Lute come up with a big-time save. Remember back to that New Mexico United game where Lute did come up with a save in this spot. Gomez. It's, just under the arm of Lute. He gets the right way. Gomez scores, and El Paso leads.
Let's go back to the infraction first. The cut in by Noe Coutinho finds the run of their striker, Aaron Gomez, as he gets around Mono Madrid. It's a great spin. Again, they're both trying to make a play on the ball. Referee points to the spot, straight red. Not only are they down to 10 men, they're now down 1-0. Ben Lute very close, but almost doesn't count as El Paso Locomotive, for only the second time in this series, which is now 5 games, have gotten on the board first.
Gomez with his 4th goal in the season. That goes along with 4 assists, the most goals in club history, now up to 25. He's taking on a similar trajectory for Phoenix Rising as last week.
I would also say, Josh, that this team has been held scoreless in 9 of their first half, but their second half team, 20 of 30 goals in the second half. They find a way. They continue to give themselves chances. Not that they've been great here in the second half, but there's that belief that no matter what, they're gonna find a way to get a result. And with just inside 20 minutes to go, they certainly have that opportunity.
Remember, the last 3 wins for El Paso have all been clean sheets as well. There's been a different result, though, in between each of those. They beat Los Dos 4-0, then lost to Pittsburgh. They beat Sac Republic 1-0. Then drew with Orange County. They beat Las Vegas 1-0. Then drew with Hartford. So if the pattern continues, this would be another win. Looks like that is the end of the night for Babukar Jai, with Ryan Flood set to come on for Phoenix Rising.
Josh, this is going to take a minute, and I just don't want to feel like I'm beating a dead horse here. You agree that that's not a straight red, right?
Correct.
I mean, that's a penalty, 100%, but that's not a straight red.
It seemed harsh.
Entering the match is number 4, Ryan Flood.
Phoenix has to live with the decision.
Leading the match is number 6, Babukar Jai.
Manuel Madrid will not be able to travel with Phoenix to Loudon next week. And now you wonder about the status of James Musa. You should be getting Kevin Lambert back, so that should maybe help offset at least for the week. Definitely more juggling for Rick Schatz to do ahead of next week's fixture. Plays this ahead. Gomez. Gomez drags the shot wide.
They've obviously got to try and do something to maintain a presence even down 1-0. Aiden Quinn comes onto the back line. Speed will be a bit of an issue overall in the one-on-one matchups. He does do a good job of recovery here to push Aaron Gomez to the side. Almost tucks it in on that far post run.
Moar leads the break. Finds Ryan Flood. The cross sent in. It was a dangerous one. Now it's Epps for Moar on the volley and out of play.
You feel for Santi Moar. He's getting a nitpicky at the close of this game, but you feel it as this ball comes back across. Marcus Epps, you got to stick this on the deck. You can't hit it with this much pace. It's so difficult for Santi Moar, who's already drifting towards the runner. When it hops up off the deck, now you want him to turn his body and account for the rise. If you keep it square on the ground, he can go laces or instep and get a much better shot at goal.
Flood, the last man back there for Phoenix Rising. Lofted out wide. Zacharias. Boehner for Ryan. Maris. Hines. Just able to keep that in play. Farrell had to contest it. Throw into El Paso.
The numbers overall in this game are just so close together, and what these teams have been able to produce against each other. 9 shots for Phoenix, 10 shots for El Paso. Both have hit the frame twice. 7 of those shots for each team have come inside the box. Final third entries, 25 for Phoenix, 27 for El Paso Locomotive. And the possession overall, and it's going to continue to slide down to town men for Phoenix Rising, has definitely swayed the way of El Paso Locomotive. It's been a very tightly contested match.
Another chance here, more contact in the area. No whistle. Now Phoenix might be able to break. Quinn. Here's Moar. Aiden Quinn is possessed. Phoenix keep it. Sejas cuts it back and not able to connect with Moar. Farrell for Hurst. He was cut down. Santi Moar keeps it moving. Epps through traffic. Corner kick, an appeal for handball.
It was in traffic from our viewpoint, Josh. I couldn't see it. It didn't look to it from me. We get one quick look at it. Again, everything's clouded. The camera angle that we have, you can't see it. Simple as that.
They do get a corner kick out of it, and Quinn will take it. Looking for Epps. Marcus Epps. It's another corner kick. 2 more subs coming for Phoenix Rising. Receiver Haugley, Claudio Repetto. The last 2 subs of the game. The Luis Sejas coming off.
Substitution for Phoenix Rising FC.
And the other one is Jose Donaciano will be coming off.
Leading the match.
And that is all for Phoenix Rising tonight.
That's the debut for the Loney into the starting 11, second appearance overall. Local crowd appreciative of his efforts. I would imagine that from the praise you've gotten behind the scenes, you'll be seeing him more.
Moar curls it in. Here comes right back into the middle. And Phoenix couldn't put it on frame. And they'll get a 3rd successive corner kick.
Something to think about if you're Phoenix Rising, and take this for what it is, down to 10 men and down 1-0. 11 out of the 15 games for El Paso Locomotive coming in, Josh. Multiple goals a game, both for themselves and for opposition.
Quinn, the service. Yuma gets it away. Quinn will serve in once again. Epps back centrally. And the acrobatics not enough there for Phoenix. A chance to break now, 10 minutes to go. Can El Paso find another with the man advantage? Zacharias. Now to play. The biggest fireworks show in the Valley on Saturday, July 2nd is at Wild Horse Pass. Kick off the 4th of July weekend with fireworks and football as Phoenix Rising takes on Orange County at 7:30. Tickets for the match start at $22. And for more information, visit phxrisingfc.com or call 623-594-9606. Best play on a new Ford is at Sanderson Ford, Arizona's largest Ford dealership. Unless Phoenix can turn this around. Moar! What's the decision here? There is none. It's no penalty. Yuma and Moar colliding.
This is close. I mean, if you're a Phoenix Rising fan, you're going to be a bit frustrated. He megs him, and he wins the ball coming out. Do you see contact?
Watch the shin. Oh, he stepped on his... Is there enough on his foot?
My initial thought would be that there would be contact on the right leg of Santi Moar, specifically on the thigh area. I didn't see it there, and there's daylight. Is there contact on the foot? Right really here. Yeah, this is the best angle. I don't see it. I'm sorry.
El Paso Locomotive FC.
But if there's no contact, shouldn't that be a yellow card?
For whom? For Santi Moar.
For Santi Moar.
Yeah, I make this argument all the time.
The match is number 50.
Because you're basically then implying that it's simulation, right?
Correct. Diego Abarca coming on alongside Diego Garcia, 2 of those Academy products. Abarca scoring last week against Hartford Athletic. And 1 Academy product on for another. Noe Coutinho will make way. Abarca, the youngest El Paso player to score, the first Academy player to ever start a match. Garcia, his USL Championship debut here tonight. Phoenix Academy starting to make some waves here. Here's Flood. Phoenix able to keep this in play. They'll continue on. Moar. Farrell, the last man back. Howgley. The yellow card given to Gomez, looked like for time wasting.
John Hutchinson entrusting a lot to these young men. We've spoken about Diego Abarca and the debut of the 15-year-old. You heard that right. Now Diego Garcia doesn't turn 16 till October. Another one of the academy boys that have had an opportunity to make an impact on the games for El Paso Locomotive over the past couple of matches. Rightfully informed, by the way, that Andrew Forrest, the general manager of El Paso Locomotive, 12 academy contracts this year, 4 last year. It's pretty impressive from everybody out west so far. Again, it's not just awarding him to him, it's actually having an impact on games.
Here's Quinn. Sliding this ahead, Repetto the long run. Trying to cut this back, it was a good ball in for King. Flood for Moar. Here's Ryan Flood. Little contact, goal kick.
There's no pen here, it's soft. It's gonna take something special as well because the referee knows that he's in a very precarious situation. I like the little step by Ryan Flood coming back to the inside. Great vision by Santi Moar. You're not gonna like the arm extended away from the body. Ryan Flood's already moving that way.
Played ball, quickly out for a corner kick. Phoenix tried to go quick, and now Hurst will let everybody come forward. 3 minutes to go. Phoenix trying to avoid a second straight 1-0 defeat at home. Quinn. Headed clear. El Paso gets it out. And it's going to be a yellow card. Looks like that goes to Garcia.
A caution has been issued by the referee to El Paso Locomotive FC number 50, Diego Garcia.
Long cross comes in. Newton is there to punch it away. 2 minutes to go. Lofted it again. Howgley. A looping header. That's taken by Newton again. Hurst. Here's Moar. Switches the point of attack. King for Epps. Epps on the turn! And just wide.
He's on the half turn too. It's just inside. This is really difficult to spin off the left shoulder and then quickly release it. Reminds me of the Noé Coutinho chance in the first half for El Paso Locomotive. I give Phoenix Rising a lot of credit. They're not backing down from this challenge. You do wonder the full strength of El Paso Locomotive. They've backed off here on the throttle a little bit. You're tempting fate. Only one time previously in the 4 matches has El Paso Locomotive struck first. That ended up in a loss. Of course, the series overall has been 4 losses, one of which went to penalties and playoffs. Be very careful what you're asking for. You back off too much, the Bull's gonna give you the horns.
It's 5 minutes added on at the end of this second half.
5 minutes of added time in the second half.
Here's Moar. Gets the cross away. Right off the chest of Yuma. Long over the top. This will run through for Evan Newton. What a win this could be for El Paso Locomotive. They're just moments away. Oakland came back to level it with RGV late on tonight. Another late goal as that one finished 2-2. San Diego Loyal beat Hartford Athletic 3-0. Las Vegas beating Orange County by 2-0. Team Payares coming on. Replace Dylan Maris.
Substitution for El Paso Locomotive FC.
He was incredible tonight, Dylan Maris. Absolutely incredible. 100% passing accuracy in the first half. Multiple chances created, hit the post. Went 46 of 49 on the night.
Moar for Epps. Cross comes in. Nobody there to get there. Loaded towards the end line. Aiden Quinn towards the near post. Quinn serves it in. The header is up and over the bar.
That might be the last chance for Phoenix Rising. Josh, we were talking about this in the first half, how the teams are kind of trending in opposite directions. Phoenix Rising, when you look at their victories this season, yes, the losses are there, but when you look at their victories, they've got the pedigree behind them. New Mexico United, San Antonio twice. That right there is enough for an argument to be made because not many have gotten the best of them. El Paso Locomotive, the quality of their results haven't necessarily been in their favor in terms of who they've beaten, right? They beat Tulsa. Okay, you beat Monterey Bay. You know, Loudoun, great. You should beat Loudoun. You'd make the argument that Sacramento Republic is probably their best win of the season, and so this is a massive pickup for them. It's not just historically what it does, but I would say this year it adds more credibility. Counter argument, people are going to go, well, Phoenix is struggling. It's true. There's still a ton of talent here. It is something in terms of the territory that Phoenix Rising is venturing into we've never seen before. And yet for El Paso Locomotive, and all of the whispers and all of the arguments and all of the anger that was the beginning of the year that saw them struggle against SAC, against New Mexico United, Las Vegas Lights, and San Diego Loyal, outside of really what the next 60 to 90 seconds gives you, has seen a complete turnaround for John Hutchinson and the boys wearing the white jerseys tonight.
To put this in some context for Phoenix Rising, you have to go all the way back to their Arizona United days in 2014. The last time they were shut out in 2 straight home matches. That was against Orlando City and the Chivas USA Reserves. One more chance for Phoenix. Repetto, Moar, this has got to be it. Sends it across. Epps tries to keep it alive. Now it's King. Ball served back in. Newton is there. All eyes on the referee now. And there's the final whistle. El Paso Locomotive, their first win ever over Phoenix Rising. And the disappointment continues for the home side, but what a win this is for John Hutchinson and El Paso.
We said coming in that there was so much promise for either one of these teams, and what could be, given the results around the league, could jump up into third, could drop below the playoff line. Well, given the result that just was for El Paso Locomotive, they have now propelled themselves into the 4th spot after a winless, that was the start of the 2022 campaign. Character test on the road for sure. You got to give them credit. And for Phoenix Rising, another game where, to be fair, they certainly gave themselves an opportunity, and defensively much better, especially from that man right there. Joey Farrell had himself a night. Could have easily been 2 or 3, could have easily been 1-1 or 2-1 for Phoenix, but he did his job, and that is your man of the match.
That is presented by Phoenix Children's Hospital. So disappointing night for the home side, Phoenix Rising, but El Paso Locomotive, a big-time win to continue their upward trend in this USL Championship regular season. We'll come back and wrap things up, but it finishes at full time. Phoenix Rising 0, El Paso Locomotive 1.
Lerner & Rowe is proud to be the official personal injury attorneys of Phoenix Rising. Our goal is getting you all the money you deserve. When you're in a wreck and need a check, make one call, that's all, to Lerner & Rowe.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
At Arizona Federal, our passion is to help out the community where you live and work, because where you bank should make you feel good. Show your support for the home team with the Phoenix Rising Visa debit card. When you open a new account, you can score $100 just for using your card when you shop. How's that for an easy goal? Be a part of our commitment to the community. Arizona Federal Credit Union.
Back here at Wild Horse Pass, some El Paso Locomotive fans making the trip and celebrating with the team here tonight. A big-time 1-0 win over Phoenix Rising here at Wild Horse Pass. Time to look back at these 90 minutes with our full-time highlights. We start in the first half, 34th minute of play, and Phoenix Rising coming into the attack, and they had some dangerous moments.
It was certainly more exciting of the two halves in the opening 45 minutes. Great job on the work in transition. Love the fact that Santimoa is becoming more comfortable as they move forward. Comes back to the inside. That inversion is something that Phoenix Rising has been missing. It's been lacking. Certainly not tonight, but they can't get a goal. And then the pressure continued. Great stuff up here by Darnell King as this ball comes back across. How many opportunities did we see for both teams, Josh, inside the box that were either saved by the goalkeepers or pushed just side?
Leaser with another miss there, 68th minute. And it would be a big moment in this game. It would change the whole game.
And understand this, in a Dogso situation, 4 things have to occur. Are there defenders in the area that can also be involved? The distance between him and the goal. Well, the distance, I'll give it. That's close enough. Can they gain control of the ball? I don't know if he's able to get to this ball before the goalkeeper can. And the general direction of play, to me, although it's an advanced movement, that's moving away from goal for me. Even if you argue that it's going to goal, you still have to hit all 4 of those in order for that to be a straight red. Otherwise, it's considered stopping a promising attack. Referee goes Dogso, goes 12 yards out. Gomez goes to the bottom corner, and they're up 1-0.
Loon gave it his best effort, just could not keep it out. Great power behind that shot by Gomez, his 4th goal of the season and his 2nd penalty kick goal. And we look at what is to come. Some intriguing fixtures on Wednesday. How about Oakland and New Mexico?
I'll take that. How about Orange County and Louisville next Saturday? Orange County is down 3-0 to Las Vegas Lights right now. There are some interesting things going on for the 2021 champions of the USL Championship. And of course, we look at the bottom left corner, Detroit City and El Paso Locomotive. El Paso's going to be riding high. They have put together a string of results. Now they got to go back out on the road again to Detroit City, one of the more difficult places in all the USL Championship, even with limited experience, to get a result.
Well, the struggles continue for Phoenix Rising as they drop points at home again. But for El Paso Locomotive, a massive 3 points in their upward trend this season. For our entire crew and broadcast partner Devin Kerr, I'm Josh Eastern saying so long from Wild Horse Pass. It finishes Phoenix Rising 0, El Paso Locomotive 1. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.